They've given us the bank details of 4 weeks ago. They've given us the bank details of John Steenhuisen. And they showed us how John Steenhuisen buying on the thing. I said to John Steenhuisen, I've got your bank details. I'm not going to use that against you. Because ons word nie gebruik in die PA om DA fights te fight. You're not going to use me. I told John Steenhuisen. I said, listen, just know that there's a guy I trust, a gay guy in our party. I trust him very much. He came to give me this envelope. He got it from somebody in the DA. I told John, I'm not going to use this because that's not our style. And PA will not be used for the fight in the DA. I just burned those things. And I shredded them. Because I'm not going to be used. If you want to finish it other than the DA, because the war has started, Zille wil nou run as a liar. So they can deny it all she likes. Let me tell you, all the information about John that comes to the PA comes from them. They can stand, they can say what they like. Luckily for me, I went straight to John Steenhuisen and I said, Puri, I'm not playing this game. Will not be used. And not because I don't care about John, but I will not be used. The PA will not be used for fighting the DA. The DA is in the middle of a war. They want John Steenhuisen out. They can deny that.
What happens when a political storm doesn't just expose the cracks in a party, but tears open the walls for the entire nation to see? When a claim so explosive, so unexpected, erupts from the mouth of one of the country's most unpredictable political figures, and suddenly the spotlight turns not on the accuser, but on the DA's own internal fractures. Before we go any further, tell me in the comments, do you think political leaks are ever justified, or are they always a betrayal? Gayton Mackenzie has once again thrown a grenade into South Africa's political arena, publicly declaring that members inside the Democratic Alliance were feeding him sensitive information about their own leader, John Steenhuisen. Not rumors, not gossip, information. And whether you support the DA, reject it, or simply watch the chaos from the sidelines, this moment strikes at something much deeper, the question of trust within political leadership. Before we continue, I want you to answer this quickly. If your party leaked on your leader, would you still vote for them? According to Mackenzie, the very people expected to defend Steenhuisen were quietly passing intel to someone who has made a career out of attacking them. And what's even more dramatic is the way Mackenzie presented it, almost casually, as if he had been sitting on this information for months, waiting for the perfect moment to ignite a political earthquake. Viewers, do you think he's telling the truth, or is it all political theater? John Steenhuisen, whether you like him or not, has been the DA's anchor in turbulent times. From coalition collapses to national campaigns, he has become the face of a party constantly fighting battles on multiple fronts. And now, he's dealing not only with external critics, but possibly internal traitors. Imagine leading a party where you don't even know who's loyal. Would you stay calm? Would you confront them? Or would you walk away? The implications of these alleged leaks are enormous, because political parties aren't just organizations. They are networks of power, ambition, and rivalry. If Mackenzie's claims are even partly true, then what we're seeing is a glimpse into the internal fractures of a party that presents itself as unified and disciplined. Let me know in the comments, which party do you think has the most internal drama? And here's where the story twists. Mackenzie didn't accuse the DA as a whole. He spoke about individuals inside the party. Which raises the question, were these leaks strategic, revenge, or attempts to sabotage Steenhuisen from within? Politics is rarely clean, and when power struggles turn inward, leaders become targets of their own people. Can you imagine working every day with colleagues who pretend to support you while secretly undermining you? Steenhuisen hasn't responded directly to Mackenzie's claims, and perhaps that silence says more than a statement ever could. He may be avoiding fueling the drama, or he may be gathering information behind the scenes. Because one thing is certain, The DA cannot afford a public fallout from within, especially while it is positioning itself as the stable alternative in the political landscape. But tell me, does staying silent make him look strong? Or does it make him look cornered? Meanwhile, Mackenzie continues doing what he does best, grabbing public attention and shaping narratives. He knows exactly how to set social media on fire. He knows how to provoke reactions. And he knows that by naming the DA directly, he forces both supporters and critics to take sides. Whether you love him or hate him, you cannot ignore him. But viewers, if you were Steenhuisen, would you call Mackenzie out publicly or ignore him? The timing of his statement is suspicious too. Political announcements like this rarely happen by accident. Was it meant to destabilize a coalition relationship? Was it meant to expose hypocrisy? Or was it meant to strengthen Mackenzie's own narrative as the politician who knows everything happening behind closed doors? South Africa's political space thrives on shocks, and this one landed hard. But beyond the drama, there is a real human element to this story: leadership under pressure. Steenhuisen is now not just fighting political battles, he is fighting the perception that he is not in control of his own party. And perception in politics is everything. If supporters believe you are losing control, they drift. If rivals believe you are weak, they attack. And if your own people lose confidence, the entire structure collapses. This is why Mackenzie's claims matter. Not because they are guaranteed to be true, but because they have the power to shape the narrative. Once people hear that leaders are being undermined internally, doubt spreads fast. And that doubt is a political poison that is very hard to reverse. What do you think? Can a leader ever fully recover from a leak scandal? And let's not forget the irony woven into this moment. Mackenzie saying he stands with John while simultaneously exposing the chaos around him. It's almost a taunt, a subtle jab wrapped in a smile. And South Africans picked up on it instantly, turning the whole incident into a trending topic. The emojis, the sarcasm, the commentary, it became a national conversation overnight. Every political party talks about unity, yet every party hides conflict. Every leader talks about trust, yet every leader knows trust can evaporate in a single moment. And every time a leak happens, it becomes more obvious that the greatest threat to a political movement often comes from within its own ranks. This incident has already sparked internal suspicion in the DA. Members will wonder who spoke to Mackenzie. Alliances will shift. Quiet conversations will happen behind closed doors. Suddenly, everyone becomes a potential suspect. Internal paranoia is one of politics' most destructive forces. Meanwhile, ordinary people watching from home are left to interpret what this means for the future of the DA. Will it tighten its internal discipline? Will it sweep the issue under the rug? Or will Steenhuisen demand answers? Because leadership is not just about public speeches, it's about maintaining order behind the scenes. And in this moment, the order seems to be slipping. Even if just for a moment, even if just in perception, that slip matters. Mackenzie knows it. The DA knows it. And the public definitely knows it. So the real question becomes, what happens next? Will the DA come out stronger, proving that they can withstand internal sabotage? Or will this become yet another chapter in the long story of coalition tensions, leadership battles, and political gamesmanship? Tell me in the comments. Where do you think this story is headed next? The political landscape is shifting fast, and moments like this accelerate the tension. Every party is watching. Every strategist is calculating. And every journalist is now looking for the next clue, the next statement, the next explosive revelation. Because once a leak is exposed, real or alleged, the hunt begins. One thing is clear: South African politics is entering another turbulent cycle. And this time, the shockwaves are hitting the DA from the inside. Steenhuisen may be silent for now, but the pressure is building, and the public wants answers. As you reflect on everything happening, consider this final question. If you were the leader of a political party and discovered that insiders were leaking information, what would your first move be? Because in these moments, leadership isn't just tested, it's revealed.